Hello, my name is James McCool. I'm the owner of PayDirtDFS.com, and today is going to be a little bit of a different video. I just had some thoughts, and I wanted to kind of use this as a video diary and talk through some things. But I just think they're thoughts that need to be put out there, and I think that it's on a topic that a lot of people don't talk about, especially in our industry, in the fantasy sports and kind of the more degenerate industry. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about burnout. I'm going to talk about workload. I'm going to talk a little bit about mental health. And these are topics, obviously, that you never hear about in the fantasy sports industry, but I think that they're important. I want to preface this video with I am fine. I'm struggling a little bit in terms of mental health and in terms of workload and capacity and everything like that, but I'm not in a bad place. I'm not depressed. I'm not feeling really, really down. I am okay for those who care about that kind of thing. But I do think that it's something that I kind of want to talk through. So last week, or maybe it was a couple days, all the days blend together. A couple days ago, I tweeted out that I needed 2 days to just lay on the ground and stare at the ceiling in my office because I was just so burnt out. And that burnout comes after what was basically a month-long or 2-month-long period, I think, of just constant work binging and being a father and being a partner and trying to be a friend, right? So, and falling short on a lot of those things at once, just because when you have a massive workload and capacity, it's really hard to hit everything. Right, so I just feeling really, really burnt out and feeling very I don't know what the word is, at capacity, I guess. I'm going to use that term a lot, but I'm just kind of riffing here. So burnout, I think, is something that from a mental health standpoint is normal. I think that burnout is normal. I think that eventually, no matter what you're doing, whether you absolutely love the thing that you're doing or if you absolutely hate the thing that you're doing, you're going to experience burnout one way or another. I think that how much you like something and how much you enjoy and find passion in something is going to make it so it takes longer to get to that burnout, where if you hate doing something, then it will drastically increase the amount of burnout that you'll feel, and it'll shorten the amount of time between burnouts. But I do think that burnout is a normal part of having a large workload and a normal part of just existing as a human. The burnout in the daily fantasy industry and in content creation in general, I think, is a little bit different because of the way that creative energy works. And I think that burnout, for me especially, burnout comes after significant projects, or it comes at the beginning of a new season of NFL or NBA or MLB, traditional sports typically. And that burnout comes with different stressors, right? The reason why I'm feeling so much burnout right now is because we just finished the Theory of DFS Advanced Players course, me and Jordan Cooper, which you should go buy that. This isn't a promotional video. We just finished that, and that was a massive amount of work put in by both of us, and on my end it was a lot of code work and a lot of very technical work, and that's the work that I am maybe least efficient at, even if I'm really, really good at it. So I had that massive project to do, and then I had the beginning of NFL, and they both coincided, right? We released the book about a week before the NFL season would start, 10 days or something like that, or the course, excuse me. We released we released the course, and we had NFL season starting up so quickly that it was both of those things. And pair that with the fact that I am a father as well, and a partner, and the main provider here, and having a 1.5-year-old kid who needs a lot of attention and is very, very energetic. Certainly does not release the stress that you have from the work that you have to do and the workload that you behold. So there's a lot of things going into it, and I think that burnout with all of those things together is pretty intense. Burnout does not necessarily mean that you want to stop what you're doing. It doesn't mean that you don't like what you're doing. I think, like I said, it's completely normal, and it's something that more people should talk about, but we don't. And I think that's kind of shitty in the industry. I think that, especially in an industry like ours, in the DFS and fantasy industry, burnout and mental health and stuff like that gets swept under the carpet. And one of the main mechanisms is that it's a mostly male-dominated industry. And men feel disproportionately that they have to be able to shoulder whatever load is put onto them without ever crying out for help and without ever having to put themselves in a position where they look weak. There's so much machismo and so much testosterone and so much like, don't be a pussy in our industry, because it is such a male-dominated field that you feel, I think that a lot of people feel like they can't talk about that kind of stuff, or that it'll make them weaker, or that it'll lose reputation or some shit like that. I don't know. I have never been somebody who has built my brand on masculinity or machismo or anything like that. I'm totally fine painting my nails and showing it off on Twitter. Like, I was known for that for a little while. Like, that stuff doesn't bother me. But I do think that it is something where in our industry, mental health and burnout and stuff like that doesn't get talked about enough, and everyone in our industry deals with it, and I guarantee everyone in our industry deals with it. And I think that there's a lot of coping mechanisms that exist in our industry to mitigate the effects of burnout and mental health failures that could be dealt with better, for sure. And one of the things for me when I end up falling apart a little bit and having some burnout and some capacity issues is I just binge eat brownies and cookies and shit and just like put my body into overload so that it has something else to focus on. But I digress. I think that especially going into the NFL season, there's a lot of burnout, there's a lot of mental stress that goes on, and I wish there was something that was talked about more. Typically, like the other side of it too, right, is that people who subscribe to fantasy sports content creators and sites and stuff like that, they're like, oh, you guys have the best job in the world, like you guys just get to watch sports all day. And it's like, yeah, I mean, we have really, really good jobs. I'm super blessed to be able to do what I do. I run pay dirt as my only job, right? Like, that's the dream. It's fucking cool. But at the same time, like, it's not immune of the stress that it has. Like, I think that if most people knew what the workload was that goes into our jobs, it wouldn't be as glamorous, right? Like, for me, I wake up at 5:30 every single morning. Like, I work from 5:30 until I get my kid up. He wakes up between 7 and 7:30, and then I give him breakfast, and then I get back to work, and I work until like 11:30, and then I eat lunch, and then I maybe go out with family for a little while, but more than likely, I get back to work until 5 p.m., and then we have dinner as a family. And then while Margaret is putting Damascus to work, putting him to bed, I get back to work and finish up at 6. Like, I work 13 hours a day, every single day. I don't get days off. So, like, yeah, my job is awesome, and I love what I do, and I'm not saying that I don't. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm very good, and I'm very efficient at the things I'm able to do, but it's hard. Like, it's really hard, and it takes a serious toll on you. It takes serious grind to be able to handle all of this kind of stuff. So, there's guys who work probably harder than I do. Most of my work is back-end work and uploading models and maintaining baselines and data management and data warehousing and stuff like that. Like, that's most of my work, although I have started writing again. But there are guys out there guys and girls, and I want to not be an asshole about that. There are individuals out there who work significantly harder than I do. Like Evan Silva, as one guy, he works infinitely fucking harder than I do. Like, his dedication and his grind is infinitely more difficult than mine because of the amount of manual work that he has to put into his craft, his writing, and the podcasts, and the researching, and handling not only just the NFL, but also scouting through in college and stuff like that. Like, he's one example of somebody who works significantly fucking harder than I do. But regardless, we love our jobs, and we do the things we do because we love our jobs. The part of my job that I love is being there for people who need a content source and for being able to create things for people who, I make my product affordable so that nobody is priced out of having good models and good data, and I make my stuff available to people who want quality stuff but maybe can't afford to have like $350 worth of subscriptions to sites. That's why I do what I do, so that I can give everybody, no matter their skill level or their price level, something that is good and usable and gives them an edge. Silva, he does what he does because he loves the research, he loves the craft. And then there are guys, like Jordan, he does what he does because he loves to make money. He just loves to be a fucking winner, and that's awesome. And like, that's where his passion comes from. There are different passions that go into this industry, and all of them contribute in one way or another to the reason why we do what we do. But at the same time, like, that burnout is very real for every single one of us and every single individual, and I don't think that it gets talked about enough. But yeah, that's one part of this video, and then the other part is connected to it, of being a father. Like I said, I pretty much work 13 hours a day, right? Like, I don't take days off, I don't take breaks, really. And I accept that responsibility because it is a necessary responsibility for me and my family. But that's hard because I have a 1.5-year-old kid, and he'll come over and he'll run through the door. He can open doors now, and he'll grab my finger, and he'll pull me over to the top of the stairs, and he'll put my hand on the gate, and he'll look up at me like, "Hey, Daddy, I want to go downstairs," which he can't say yet, but he will. And I can't. I have to tell him, like, Daddy's working. And, like, that sucks, man. You know how bad that sucks? I make time for it. I make time for him. I make time for my family. I make time for Margaret. But it's few and far between sometimes. And especially when I'm working on big projects, or when it's time for a release or a new sport or an opening day or something like that. The weeks leading up to that are fucking hard. And like, fucking hard emotionally and mentally and physically, because not only am I working overtime, but I have a family that I am partially neglecting, and that sucks. So I don't know, I just wanted to because I posted that tweet the other day, and I wanted to talk through my thoughts a little bit on burnout and being a father, and I just wanted to kind of put some thoughts out there, talk through it a little bit into a camera, and put it on YouTube, and just note that, we do all these things, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in, right? Like, I'm in the daily fantasy sports industry and sports analytics and everything like that, but if you're in retail management, or if you work at McDonald's, or if you are a janitor, or if you sell luxury cars or whatever, like, just know that burnout is okay. And that burnout, it happens for all of us, and we all handle it differently, and we all mitigate the effects of it differently, and we all have our different stressors, and we have our different coping mechanisms. But it's okay to feel shitty sometimes, and it's okay to feel like, man, I can't fucking handle any more of this sometimes. But the important part is to realize when you are a little bit burnt out, take a step back and say, I need to take some time to myself to center myself again. And take some time to really care about the people that you need in your life. Like the other day, after I said I was burnt out, I was like, baby, I turned to Margaret and I said, we need to take some time. And yesterday we went to the park, we had a picnic. Damascus ran around in the field, uninhibited, like a little fucking goat. He had a great time running around in the field, and we had a picnic, and we ate PB&Js and fruit, and then we went to the park, and he went down the slide 100 times, and it was just really nice. And I think that it was necessary to run away for a little while and recenter myself and be with people that I care about and with the people that I love. So, if you watch this video and you feel like you're a little bit burnt out, fucking take a day off. Like, go do some things with the people that you care about and with people that you love, and really take care of yourself, because we're all in this together, and it's important to take care of yourself and take care of the people that you care about. So that's all this video is going to be. It's not promotional or anything. I just want to talk through some thoughts on burnout and the people that I love. So Thanks for watching if you did, and I'll talk to you guys later.